Welcome, friends, and welcome to Chili Smith. This segment has been about really culture. One of the things that you've asked us in your kind notes to us is, hey, tell us more about the bean stories. You seem to like my lies, so I'm going to try to fill you up with a few more. Well, this season, what we're going to talk about is I got to thinking when you did that about history and culture.
I love that aspect of cooking.
Yep, me too. And my folks came from Europe, as most folks, a lot of folks did, and there was an awful lot of food heritage that was there. And even as, you know, in my grandmother's age, I didn't know my great-grandparents, but my grandmother was a good cook. All the Smiths were pretty good cooks, and so she taught us some things about that they used in their country that were quite popular with, it's called beans on toast.
Oh, I've heard of that. I think maybe Prince William and his family, they used to eat that. Does that sound familiar?
Well, they did. And,
okay.
And wherever you live in that kind of that northern latitude of Ireland and United Kingdom and Scotland, where it's nippy in the morning.
Yes.
And so the mothers would want to send off their people with a good hearty breakfast to keep them going all day, because they had to work out in that weather irregardless of what was going on with wind and rain and whatever. And so beans and toast became a thing because you didn't have to necessarily look for your protein from animals and all of that. So we did that.
Oh, good.
We love that. We started cooking it, I think 3 or 4 years ago, you and I, when we were doing the classes, because I wanted to feature it in Irish. We always think of the English as being, being the beans on toast, if you will. Boil that a little more. It still has a little more flavor. And this beans on toast is nowhere near that. It's an Irish. We're going to add some color.
Good.
We're going to add some ingredients that'll add some zest, and it has some flavor. So we'll get started, and then I'll invite you back for a taste.
I can't wait. It sounds good.
We feel that food is part of our story. Therefore, the implements that you cook with, the implements that our great-grandparents in my age used, were infused with love, with what they did to serve their family. It is that brought them around the table. When you think about the Americas and how when we settled, what we called settled this country, when the Europeans moved through and we came out west on wagons and things, and we needed things that were going to be practical. We wanted things that were beautiful, but we also wanted things that were practical. One of the things that came over in those days was this particular piece, and it isn't quite as old as that, but it is of age. This is a cast iron pot. It's bone heavy. It's gorgeous. It holds its heat very well, thank you very much. And it's tough. What I love about it when I cook on it is it did not come from my family. This is one I found. You can almost see where there's some chips. And what those chips are from is somebody who's knocking the stuff off their spoon for a while. This has served an awful lot of people and wonderful. It's as cast iron as what we used in the Americas without the enamel finish. So it's also I think just drop dead gorgeous, and as Twyla said, it matches her shirt, so you can do no wrong with that. So what we did is we started with 3 things for this breakfast. And this is a breakfast that you would probably fix on a Saturday or a Sunday when you have a little bit of time, and then put it in the refrigerator, and then each morning you've got it. It gets a little better day after day after day, as a lot of things do as they're refrigerated. So this one you're able to take it up, heat it up, put it on, we're going to put it on cornbread, but you could put it on soda bread, you can put it on a lot of different things and serve it. So this is a hearty, flavorful, wonderful breakfast that can be accomplished a lot of things to feed an awful lot of different people with different flavors that they like. So what I've done is, and in our cooking classes, unlike a lot of the classes, we don't teach you every step of the way in the cooking. We will teach you those in other videos. In this one, I've already prepared the beans. And in this case, what I've done is I've taken 50% of our peruano bean, which is a Peruvian transplanted to Mexico bean, which is creamy and wonderful and just delicious, that we love. And then the other bean that we're using is our butter bean, or our baby lima bean, which is a small white bean, which is so delicate and so flavorful and so wonderful. We use the two of those in a product that we have at Chili Smith called Coming Around the Mountain white bean chili. It's one of our mixes, and it has the seasonings in it. It has all of the vegetables in it and everything you might need for that. Well, I love those two beans together. The only difference in this is that the seasoning would be a little different. So I took 50% of Peruano, I took 50% of butter beans. We didn't soak them, we cooked them in an Instant Pot like this. We added them with the amount of water that is required. We added the seasoning and we just let it cook. It cooked for 40 minutes and it was done. And this is what it looks like when it's complete. It will look and smell like a wonderful pot of beans. So we start with that, and there's some hot beans. Then I'm going to get rid of this so we can work with this a little bit. So to finish your beans, you're going to want to add some things. Now, those can be added to your choice, but I like it to be healthy, and in this case, we're featuring Ireland. So I thought, well, we'll try to feature their flag a little bit. So I diced some orange bell peppers. We're going to add that to the mix, and I threw in some reds there, and you know why? Because they were in the bin. So there we go. We also have some carrots, and I'm not going to add carrots to it this time because they're a little denser. And if I were preparing this from base, I would start with them and give them a head start in the cook. So we've added that. Then the next thing we're going to add is, I like to have a little crunch, and I like a little celery. And I'm learning from my friend Twyla about the value of having more celery in your diet as opposed to less. It's very good for you. So we stir that in, and this is just with the heat of what's in the product is going to cook those vegetables through. And the final thing we're going to put in is going to be some greens. Now these happen to be baby spinach leaves that have been triple washed, and I picked them up at a supermarket locally. If you grow your own, that's even better. Pick them, just make sure that they're clean. You want them to be pesticide, herbicide free, as these are, and then you want them to just be. So just drop them in, and they're going to cook down quite a bit. So we're going to add almost 2 cups of the greens to this, and our overall, our bean weight started with about 1 pound. So we're going to put those in. We're just going to gently fold that in, and we're going to go watch the next quarter of the playoff games for the NFL that's going on right now, and just let it go, let it steam. Turn the heat off. The heat of the vessel, which is the beauty of one of the beauties of cast iron, will not only help cook it and continue to heat it gently, but it also makes holding it warm so you don't have to serve it on a stove. You can take this and put it where you want to. So we're going to leave that on and let it finish cooking. In the meantime, what I'd like to talk with you about is, okay, when we get ready to serve this for breakfast, everybody's in a hurry, so you bring things out around the table. Now, in this case, what I decided to do was, Mrs. Chili, Dale, loves cornbread. So yesterday we had a little bit of cornbread, and I had a little bit left over. So I'm going to take a little bit of the cornbread, and this is always one of those things where we're wondering, what in the heck are we going to do with the leftover cornbread? Is it going to get too dry? Is it going to be as flavorful as it was? Whatever. Just take a chunk and split it. We've got our cornbread in the bottom. I'm a soaker-upper guy. I like to put my cornbread down on the bottom so that it captures all of that broth. Some people might want it on the side. It's up to you. It's wonderful. So now you take the dish and you just put it over the top. Make sure you get plenty of that broth in there, because there's a wonderful flavor, wonderful aroma in that broth. Now, we get somebody that says, now this would not be Twyla, but you'll have somebody that would say, hey, I like eggs for breakfast. All right, so let's put a couple of hard-boiled eggs there. We'll get somebody else, our sons, who say, and grandkids especially, I want it, it's not breakfast without bacon. So we'll put a few pieces of bacon on there, and we've got that. We've got one son that says, he's my son Juan, and he wants to have the relish. So he wants to have this wonderful relish that we make. So Juan gets to put his relish over the top. Got some, the girls mostly, that'll say, I need more heat. Your food's never hot enough. So you just bring out all of these sauces. You'll have somebody that'll say, I want to have mine a little bolder. Add a little Worcestershire sauce to it. All right? Whatever you want to do, you can do. Then we'll have folks that'll say, I want to have something that's a little bit different. So you get some of the Fall River Mills wild rice that we have at Chili Smith that's already cooked. You don't even have to cook it. You just have it in the pouch. It's resealable. Sprinkle that across the top. To my palate, it all tastes like tree bark anyway, but it's very, very healthy. And this is a breakfast that you're going to eat, and at noon, you're still going strong, wondering, where did I get all of this energy? Why do I feel so darn good? It's because you started your day with really good food to start with. So that's what we want to try to do, all right? Now, all of this will refrigerate for up to a week. And as all bean products do, it actually gains. And when the enzymes do their dance in the refrigerator, right? Twyla does this better than I do. But it does that dance, it's better the next day. It's better the next day. It's better the next day. And just reheat it and continue to change it and continue to have it wonderful. So we invite you to try this beans on toast. I always think of, when I think of beans on toast, it made me think of, naturally, you think of, because it's kind of started for my family, started as an English type beans on toast thing. Before I even thought about the Irish beans on toast thing, that got me to thinking about really Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of theirs. Now I don't know anything about, you know, the monarchy and the this and that. I just like them. I mean, anybody like Prince Philip, who in his 90s rolls his Jeep, right, driving around, would have, if had life been different and they would have lived here, they'd have lived in the West like we do, and he'd have been a cowboy like we are, and he'd have eaten these beans in toast probably with chorito or something else on them. But that's where this dish came from. It's part of our heritage. We brought it with us, so it's wonderful. We hope that you'll enjoy it. We thank you very much for watching. We hope that if you're gaining something from our videos that you will hit subscribe. You can hit the like button, and then we can update you automatically when we go. We have some big plans for you coming up that'll deal with not only with what's going on culturally, but also what will go on with us health-wise. We're going to continue with that. We're going to do some classes coming up where we're going to be cooking with children, which is, we can't wait for that to happen. We're going to be doing some classes where they're not here inside, but actually outside, where we're doing some what we call chuck wagon cooking. It's open flame, doing a lot of things that are fun. We couldn't do any of it without you. So as per usual, we really, really, really appreciate all you bring to us at Chili Smith. So I'm going to invite Twyla to come back in and get a little taste of this. This is all vegan, vegetarian.
Perfect. And Steve, I am going to put bacon on mine.
Oh my, oh wait a minute, I heard about this.
Yeah, I am going to put bacon on mine. I've got some coconut bacon here.
Let's load it up.
I want you to try it and tell me if you can even tell the difference. Some of you already know this, but my other boss, not this boss, but my other boss in my other job, he loves bacon, he loves whiskey. And so I made him bacon maple whiskey cupcakes. And I used this bacon, and he couldn't even tell. He thought I was really going out of my veganism to make him real bacon. Like, yeah, no. But I put this on here. He goes, wow, you actually did cook bacon for me. I'm like, well, it's coconut. Even our cameraman, what'd you think, cameraman? Yes, gave it the okay. And Steve, I had one more thing to show you. We talked about this book before, Cool Beans. I wanted to show you look what they have here.
Right.
Garlicky Great Northern Beans and Broccoli Rabe over toast. Ooh. I think yours looks just as good, don't you think?
That does look pretty good.
That does look good, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I can't wait to taste it. Thank you.
There you go. Give that a try and see what you think.
Should I put some bacon on it?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
What do you call it when it isn't bacon?
You call it?
Bacon-like?
You call it pigs stay alive.
Yeah, well, I've got
Oh,
Part of Penelope sitting right here.
this is the best. This is so good. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this. See you next time. Sorry
Thanks for
talking
watching.
about